All right, let me get situated for this one, guys. Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are having a great weekend so far. Hopefully you're not getting too comfortable considering we have a big week coming up in the markets. A lot's been going on, and in this video, we have 5 oversold stocks to cover, all of which look pretty good on the charts, and I'm going to break down where I'm looking to buy, entry, exit points, all that stuff. And believe it or not, guys, even though stocks are hitting all-time highs, 3 of the 4 major U.S. indices here, there are still stocks that are beaten up. So we're going to break down a couple today. Hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. Join my Patreon for my portfolio updates, trades, private Discord, all that stuff is on Patreon. Link down below, pinned in the comments and the bio. You guys know where to find it. And now let's dive into it. So again, we are seeing all-time highs on the S&P 500. You guys know that. The Dow Jones hit all-time highs recently a couple days ago. The Russell did, I think, literally on Friday. And the NASDAQ is not there yet, but the Qs are starting to break out of this channel, and they're well on their ways to all-time highs, right? I think we'll hit 745, 750, no problem. I don't know about this week coming up, but in the coming weeks, that's where we're headed based on the charts right now, in my opinion, which that is subject to change, but as of now, that's what I'm noticing. And again, even though we're seeing this, stocks are still being beaten up, and we're going to break down a couple here that I think could have potential within the weakness. So let's start off with number one, which is Groupon, ticker GRPN. Let me pull it up. They just had earnings a couple days ago. Let's see if I can find them here, guys. They actually beat revenue, or no, they missed revenue slightly, but they did beat EPS. They lost 4 cents on the quarter versus the loss of 9 cents expected on sales of 124.6 million. That missed the 127 million estimate, and it looks like guidance. They affirmed their full year 26 sales of 513 to 523 million dollars versus 520 million expected, and it looks like for Q3 it's at 128 to 130 million dollars versus about 132 million expected. So a little soft on the Q3 guidance, but everything else seems fine for Groupon earnings-wise, guidance-wise. Yeah, they missed a little bit on revenue, but the guidance for full year, the fact that they affirmed that, that's a pretty good sign. But the stock didn't like it, likely because of that revenue miss, and I think that is opening up an opportunity here in the midst of an uptrend. I don't think Groupon stock is necessarily going to break through this channel with this earnings report. I think a lot of the weakness has been flushed out, and at this point, I think we're already seeing consolidation. Maybe we get a little more consolidation, but ultimately I see a pop here in the low 20s, 20, 21, 22. I think we could start rebounding back towards the mid 20s. Maybe high 20s on Groupon. So I think anywhere in, look, there's always risk, but anywhere in the 20 range, that's a lower risk entry. I mean, if it starts ripping towards the mid-high 20s, you probably missed it. But I'm watching it right here. And if it slips a little further, okay, maybe it goes down to 18. And full disclosure, I have no position in Groupon right now. But if it does slip even further, I think 18, 19 might be a decent spot as well. So anywhere, let's say this, in the 18 to 22 window on Groupon, I think is a good spot to enter in the uptrend, right? After we're seeing some weakness here, after the stock went up like crazy, right? It went all the way from 9 to 29 a share in the span of a couple months. Now we're seeing some relief. I think it's an opportunity. So I think Groupon, again, anywhere 18 to 22 is a good entry for me, and I think we could be seeing this pop potentially towards 30 bucks again, maybe even higher. So GRPM, definitely one worth watching. And Dave, ticker DAVE, which is Dave Inc. You guys probably know this company. Maybe not. They're in the fintech space. We're not going to get too much into them, right? But the fundamentals, that is. But they also just reported earnings, and they did, let me refresh my memory. This was about 10 days ago. They reported adjusted EPS. That's right. They double beat Adjusted EPS, $4.12 versus $3.67 expected. So that beat. Sales came in at $170.8 million versus $170.73 million. So that beat as well. Very good double beat out of Dave there. Looks like they raised their full year 26 adjusted EPS guidance, and they raised their 26 sales guidance, which is also very good, right? So at this point, it's selling off. It sold off after earnings, and it was selling off a little bit into the print. So now we're seeing kind of a double sell-off. It already happened, as now the stock is starting to rebound, and I'm watching it for that exact reason. Similar to Groupon, this is a strong continuation play. We got overbought. The stock ran like crazy and needed a pullback. We got it on good earnings, good guidance. That's always a great sign. That should give you confidence in any stock if you're looking to buy the dip. You know, if you see a stock that's down 20, 30% and the stock was super hot heading into earnings, the company reported good earnings, strong guidance, that might be a sign that it just needed to cool off, and it's actually a good time to buy because stocks are forward-looking vehicles, and ultimately they follow the earnings and the revenue, you know, the free cash flow of companies. And this company just gave us a nice boost in guidance, right? They strong guidance, top line, bottom line. I see no reason why Dave shouldn't, you know, maybe not shoot right up back to 400 plus, but could it creep there slowly over the next couple of weeks, months? Yes, based on the guidance, based on the charts, I think so. So Dave is what I'm watching, D-A-V-E, literally, like the name Dave. I'm sure there's somebody watching this video, maybe multiple people with the name Dave. I don't know. Dave, if you're watching, let me know in the comments. But that's number 2. Oracle is number 3, which it's kind of run a little bit off the lows. I mean, more than just a little bit. This thing hit 117 after hitting 250. I mean, this stock is so freaking volatile. I got torched on calls earlier this year. I'm not touching Oracle, at least calls again. Shares, yeah, I'm looking at them. But I got burnt on calls. My call was actually right, but I was like 2 months too early, which is the crappy thing about options, right? You have to be right about the direction and the time, right? So if you don't get both right, you're going to lose on the trade, right? So you got to, that's the thing with options. Either way, I got burnt earlier this year. Now it's starting to see a little bit of momentum. You know, we are up a good chunk off the lows, but look at how beaten up we still are. I mean, this stock, if I clear the drawing set quickly, let me show you this channel. We're still well under where we were a couple weeks ago. And if you guys take a look at this channel, Oracle usually, I mean, typically has been trading upwards of 200, 210 over the last couple of months. We had that one-off pop to 250. This stock's still at 150. I mean, this thing is still beaten up. And if you're one of those people that wants to wait for confirmation, we kind of got it, you know. We kind of got it. The stock hit 117. It was taking out the lows from the last couple of months at that point. That was a bit alarming. But since then, look, we've retaken that level. We're back over 130. We're back over these moving averages. We're back over, you know, the golden cross is there. So this looks like, you know, you're kind of buying into the confirmation, the strength that's building back up kind of after that Leopold blow up. So that's a good sign. And I think, again, there could be upwards momentum still towards 160, more towards 200 in due time. So I'm keeping my eyes on Oracle here in the mid hundreds. I think, yeah, you know, it might not be the best buy. You know, you could have got it lower earlier, couple weeks ago, but again, it's confirming the breakout here, which sometimes with volatile stocks like this, it's best to wait for that. And now we're getting that, and again, it's looking pretty decent here. We're actually pulling back a bit off the highs. We hit 160, I think, on Thursday. Friday, it got down to 150, so you're actually getting it. If you buy it, don't do it based on this video, though. Make sure you guys do your own homework. But if you're looking at it, it actually looks pretty good on this drawdown in the on the smaller time frames. And again, on the larger time frames, we might be going higher. Do your own research, though. Costco is another one. And by the way, guys, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to hit that follow, that subscribe button. I appreciate you all for tuning in. As always, that helps me out in the algorithm, right? That gets these videos pushed out even further. You guys are awesome. So Costco is one that I'm eyeing up. We have an inverse head and shoulders here on the 4-hour chart. I mean, you guys can see it. The left shoulder, the head, got the right shoulder right here. We're trying to break out. We actually are pushing over these moving averages. Now, I think the real breakout spot on Costco is right around 975 to about $1,000, right? That's kind of where we were a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago. We were at close to 1,000. So these levels coming up need to break, and if that happens, this inverse head and shoulders, it's going to take full head of steam and start going to 1,100, maybe even higher. So Costco is more of a defensive name, obviously. It's one of those stocks that it's a true blue chip company, blue chip stock, and whenever it goes down 20% from highs like clockwork, buyers come in. It seems like, even if the stock's still, not a cheap value, it seems like it always trades at a premium. And, once you think it's going to slip even further, buyers come in. It's one of those stocks, and we're noticing it. Costco hit 1,100. It went all the way down to 900. Boom. That's a 20% drawdown, 18% drawdown. Now it seems like we're getting a bottom in. A couple months ago, well, more like a year ago at this point, Costco got all the way to 850, right? And then it ran all the way to 1,100 after that. So at this point, man, even if it's trading expensive, it's overbought, some may argue, it's one of those stocks that gets bought up. Institutions are buying it up, right? That's just how it goes. And we hit, look, back in, when was this? February of 25, we hit about 1,075. It pulled back, it recovered. It pulled back, it recovered, and yeah, it's kind of been flat the last, almost 2 years, quite frankly. Costco's been flat, but there's been many trading opportunities if you pay attention to the charts. It seems like each time it gets down to $800, $850, $900, it's a buy over the last 2 years. For a simple bounce back to $1,000, a little higher than that. So I think this goes higher here, guys. And honestly, if it goes lower, either way, it's a win-win for me. I'll add some for the long-term account at a better valuation, but for now, I'm just eyeing it up for a trade. I think we could actually see a move towards 980. 1,000, and that's the real breakout spot where this really could take off. So keep your eyes on Costco or Costco. I say it, I don't know, guys. Maybe it's the Jersey accent. The Philly, I'm from South Jersey, near Philly. I went to school in Philly. I was there for 5 years. I mean, I don't know what it is. But I know it's not Costco, right? But it is what it is. Home Depot. Let's talk about Home Depot. This stock is also pretty beaten up. This thing is it's down from 400. It went all the way from 400 all the way to 290 earlier this year. That was a 30% drawdown. Since then, it's trying to bounce. It's been bouncing. We have earnings coming up, which is why I'm really watching it on the 18th, which I think is on Tuesday in the morning. So I'm looking to see if Home Depot can kind of find its footing here in the mid 300s. We were trying to break out of 355. I made a post on my Patreon about this, an in-depth, deeper post. We were trying to break out at 355. We didn't. The writing was kind of on the wall. We had the ascending triangle, the cup and handle, the inverse head and shoulders, and it didn't play out. It didn't play out yet. Keyword is yet. If we redraw this, take a look. We're actually still intact. Right now, the bulls are still holding higher lows on this chart. The ascending triangle is still there on Home Depot. We just need to see buyers come in right here. And honestly, if anything, this gave us a better entry point, right? Now we can even pick it up here. Well, I can. Do your own research, guys. But I'm looking at it here at 340. Look, this thing might fill the gap to 360 again before it even actually breaks out. So we have a trade right here between 340 and 360. Then 360 breaks, boom. That's where the big move could come. especially on good earnings. So I'm kind of thinking maybe I should wait until earnings. I'm probably going to wait until earnings. I might miss some of the move, but it is what it is, guys. I'm not going to gamble, especially on Home Depot's earnings. When I haven't done 100% too much homework on this, on their earnings coming up, so I'd much rather just wait, see the actual earnings, the call, and so forth, then make my trade after that. But it looks decent chart-wise. If the fundamentals back it up, this could play out. So what do you guys think? Those are 5 stocks: Groupon, Dave, Oracle, Costco, Costco, and Home Depot, guys. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. Do all that. Join my Patreon if you want to be a part of the private Discord community. My portfolio updates, my trades, all that is on Patreon. Link down below, pinned in the comments, in the bio. Go, what's it called? StockSurfS.com/Patreon. You know how to find it, guys. I'll see you in there. Have a great rest of your weekend.